Hello, this is Susan. Welcome to the Blue Mountains. I wanted to create this little video here in Wentworth Falls. Wentworth Falls has a very magical energy. It's extremely feminine as far as the Aboriginal culture goes, and it's, for me, a magical place of rich spirituality. So I wanted to take the opportunity to talk to you about giving and receiving versus taking and control. A lot of people I've noticed, I work every day with individuals, and I see this, it's as if they don't understand what giving and receiving is. They think it's control and taking. And when you're in that vibration of giving because you want to control someone, because you're expecting something back from someone, you always get disappointed. And when you take from someone instead of receiving, when you start saying, well, I deserve that, so I just took it. Oh, they have more than me, so it's okay. That's actually taking from someone who's taken the energy and the effort to create what they wanted. And taking from someone is not receiving. Actually, it's just taking. It's very shallow, and it actually doesn't fill you up. And when you look at control and taking, there's a karmic element to that. When someone actually offers to give you something and you accept the receiving of that, there's no karma involved. When you give to someone freely of your heart because you love them and you just want to make their life a little bit easier, or you just get this feeling that you know, whatever it is that you have belongs with them, whether it's a book or a crystal or could even be a car. Doesn't really matter what it is. But when you give from your heart because you want to make someone's life easier, there's no karma for them and there's no karma for you. But if you are giving to control and manipulate someone, there's karma. And I have actually met a lot of people who give with a calculation. Oh, if I give this, then they'll be beholden to me. And when I need to ask them for what it is I'm really thinking I want from them, they'll give it to me because I've already overgiven to them, you see? But they haven't given, they've controlled. There's a very big difference. So before you give, think about your motivation. Think about whether you really want to give it. You know, my father, he was quite wise in some ways, and he said to me a long time ago, he said, Susan, never lend someone money unless you can afford to let it go. Because a lot of the time when people ask you for money, they can't really afford to pay it back, or they're not able to pay it back. So if you give something, give it freely. Don't expect it back. Don't expect anything back from them. And that was a very profound thing that my father taught me. So I actually, before I give something, I question my motivation, and I question whether I feel I can give it at that moment. Like if someone's talking to me and they're telling me about the difficult time they're having, I'll stop for a moment in my own mind and quieten it and think, okay, what can I give that is not going to make me feel like I'm overgiving, or feel that I've been manipulated, or feel drained? You know, do I really want to give? And that's another thing. If we're giving because we feel guilty, we're giving with a toxic energy. So that person actually is receiving toxicity. And that's not a good idea either, is it? You want someone who's receiving something from you to feel good about it, and not feel an attachment that they have to then run out and get something better for you. Yeah? And it's the same with receiving. When we receive and we feel bad about it, we feel guilty about it, we feel shame around it, like, oh, I couldn't create it for myself, and so poor me, somebody else had to do it for me. And you're not receiving in the heart of which it's given. That can also mess you up. So I'd really like you to think about, you know, how you receive. you're not actually, if you're receiving because you've calculated it and you're taking it, like I said, there's karma involved in that. But if every time you're receiving, you feel guilty, you feel shame, you feel uncomfortable, look at how you were nurtured as a child, and look at how when you're nurtured, it means how you were fed, how you were handled, how you were touched, how you were listened to, how you were received. And if you were given situations where you felt uncomfortable, like say for instance your parents always wanted you to kiss the uncle that stank of cigarette smoke and alcohol, and you hated it, but you had to do it, so you had to receive a kiss and a cuddle from someone you didn't like, and it made you feel really uncomfortable. Or maybe there's a particular food that your parents made you eat that made you feel very uncomfortable about being nurtured and receiving. So just have a look at that and see if you need to do any work on that. Yeah? So sit with yourself, ask yourself, am I giving with an open heart and with love, or am I giving to prove myself or to control that person? Am I receiving with an open heart, or am I receiving with guilt and shame? I'm going to leave that with you, and if you'd like to do some work on that, you can go to my website, lovelightandtruth.com, and book an appointment with me, or you can contact me in other ways. I'm really looking forward to hearing from you and working with you in a loving and kind manner. And I'm wishing you all a beautiful balance of giving and receiving, love and harmony.